What is up, everybody? Today I'm doing a little coyote hunting. Normally I don't film my coyote hunts, but we just got a ton of snow. It's almost a full moon, so it's basically the perfect coyote hunting conditions. Yesterday, right before the storm, I went out and called at one of my friends' places who had a coyote get into their chickens. I'll show you a quick clip of that. I was able to call in a coyote and kill it right before dark, pretty much right away. I'm out here at the scene of the crime. Coyote got one of my farmer buddy's chickens, so we came and got some vengeance. I think I'm going to be able to get some pretty cool footage here. This should be a pretty sweet little video. The company I work for, Burris Optics, just came out with the Burris Thermal Scope, Burris Thermal Handheld, and Burris Thermal Clip-On. So I borrowed one of the thermal rifle scopes, a 50mm, and I borrowed a 50mm handheld. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm going to go out and call before dark for a little bit at a couple of these places I have access to, and we'll try to get some footage of the actual cameras of that. And then once it gets dark, I'm gonna call all night long, see how many of these little suckers I can kill. The coyotes around the Denver area are really bad right now. In South Denver, I'm sure you saw that viral video of the guy walking his dog and that coyote actually ripping the dog off the leash. There's been pictures of coyotes running through golf courses with cats in their mouths. The coyotes are absolutely cleaning up on the pets around here. You can't blame them with urban sprawl. You know, you get a bunch of these housing developments going up left and right, and the coyotes are kind of running out of space, but hey, that's no excuse. There's only room for one alpha predator, and that's the human. So I hate coyotes, and I always do my part to kind of pay it forward and get rid of as many of them as I possibly can. My favorite method is trapping. Grew up trapping them in Wisconsin, and that's definitely the most effective method. Unfortunately, out here in Colorado, we can't use snares, we can't use foothold traps without a 30-day egg permit, which is really hard to get. So calling them in is the best way to get rid of them. And that's what we're out here doing. Like I said, we got fresh snow, so they're probably going to be running all over the place here, especially with this full moon. After the sun goes down, it should get pretty good. Really excited for this. I've never filmed a coyote hunt before. I've been hunting coyotes since I've been like 10 years old, so this is by far and away from my first coyote hunt. It's just the first one I've ever filmed, so hopefully we get some good footage and you guys enjoy. Let's go. All right, so I just pulled up to the first spot. First thing I like to do, bust out the binos, and during the day the binos, at night the handheld scanner. When I pull up to a spot before I go walking in, I like to just give a quick scan, make sure there's not anything already out there. Yesterday when I pulled up here, there was a coyote out there already, and then I set up and called him in, and it was dead. So this is step one for me: scan, make sure there's nothing out there, go set up in the spot where you're going to call to. I put the call out, I step back 50 yards or less, sit down into a spot where I have a good back cover. I got the snow camo on today because there's snow everywhere out here. Get set up with your gun on the bipod, then turn the caller on. Sometimes it happens fast. And then people get all caught up in calling sequences, you know, what order you should do. I kind of have my little system, and you'll get a feel for it here as this video goes on. But the strategy is always the same for me, whether it's, you know, night or day. The setups, I pretty much set up the same. I call the same. So at night, if it's a little bit more calm and less windy, I might start with the volume a little bit lower, but still the order is the same for me, at least. So I waited an hour to let it get really dark. Got out there and crawled up on a hay bale on my buddy's property. The reason I wait a little bit until it gets dark is normally it gives them a little bit of time to group up. In this case, it worked out pretty good. So what I did is set up on top of hay bale, put my call out, and I played Cottontail just real quiet. Lo and behold, there was a whole group of them right next to me in this draw. As you can see in this hand scanner footage, they came just barreling out of there. I think there was like 7 or 8. I really didn't have time to count them. It was happening really fast. I waited until the front dog got all the way up right next to the e-collar, which put the furthest dog out about 100 yards. So I had 7 or 8 dogs within 100 yards of me. And I just started shooting. I was actually running a suppressed 22 with subsonic rounds, so just going for headshots. And first shot, hit one in the head, dropped it. They all took off running, not because of the sound of the gun. They couldn't hear that at all. The sound of the bullet hitting the coyote's actually the loudest thing, and then it yelped. So they all took off running. The one did the classic stop and look back after 50 yards, so I shot him right in the front shoulder. He only went about 100 yards and died. And then basically they went out to about 150 yards. They really don't know what's going on because they didn't hear the gunshot. And then I threw on pup distress, and they came back in, and I was able to shoot 2 more. So is the most coyotes I ever shot on one stand when those coyotes came in was 4. Sadly, I'm having to tell you about this and not able to show you because in the heat of the moment I forgot to hit record on the thermal scope. So that's a bit of a bummer, but I'll never forget that. It was pretty special to be able to call in that big of a group of coyotes and dump 4 of them with a 22. So over the course of the 2 days, I hunted at night around here. I was able to get 11 coyotes in those 2 days. And I'll show you some of the footage of some of the other stuff here.
In this video, I called this coyote in with a female coyote howl. You'll see here I zoom into 4 power on the Burris thermal just to make sure it is a coyote. He's kind of hung up there about 150 yards. He came into that female coyote howl, but he doesn't see what he heard, so he's kind of just mulling around out there. When they're this close, it's pretty much game over. So as he walks over to the right side of the screen here, I flip on Baby Cottontail. I just play it real quiet because I know he's going to hear it. He kind of gets over to the right side. Right about here is where I turn it on, and immediately, he starts coming, and you'll see him. He kind of, right there is where I turn it on. So then he dips down into this ditch here, and I can't see him. He's down in a ditch. I'm looking around. It's, black outside. Can't see anything, and as usual, it happens really fast. So all of a sudden, on the left side of the screen, the thing just appears, and he is hauling butt straight in my direction. I kind of get on him. I gotta make a little bit of a shift here over to my right-hand side. He kind of hears me move. I'm shooting that suppressed 22 again, so I just gotta get on his head, and there it is. Happens pretty fast. Classic call in here for sure.
So this video is actually a few days later. This was hunting with Heath Baker from Predator Tactics. The man is an absolute genius when it comes to hunting predators. It's always a good time to hunt with somebody who's truly a master of their craft. Heath really is. So feel free to go and check his stuff out. You'll learn more from following him than you will from anybody about hunting coyotes. So it was a real fun time to be able to hunt with him. Basically on this stand, we had a big old group come in. It was just pandemonium. Some dogs went right, some went left. It was just crazy. The ones that went right, this is actually through Heath's scope. So he drops the one on the right, swings over, hits the one on the left. I'm on the far left side, and what happened is the dogs that went left got in behind a rise, so I couldn't see him when we did the countdown. I never even got to get a shot off on this one, but we were able to dump 2 of the probably 6 or 7 that came in, which, pretty good. We'll take it. All right, on this stand, we put on female coyote howl. We got a group to respond pretty far away, but we knew since they responded, they could hear us. So we waited a little bit, then we threw on Jack, just dying Jack, and took about 10 minutes from they get up to the rise. They kind of paused on the rise. We didn't know it at the time. We just saw 2 big coyotes and 1 smaller one. It was 2 males and a female, and they kind of paused on the hill. We gave them a little bit, and we kind of just fluctuated the sound up and down with the dying Jack, which I like to do with any type of prey sound. So cottontail, whatever bird, whatever you're playing, I like to play loud, soft, lights off, kind of feather it. When we did that, the female bit, and she just came on a stringer here. I put it in fast forward so you can see her coming in. The 2 males hung up a little bit further away, but the female sat down right in front of the call. That was an absolute chip shot. Put it right on her chest. On this one, I was using my Spikes Tactical 5.56 Hornady VMAX, and it just absolutely thumped it. So that's what happened on this one. I didn't get a chance to shoot the other 2. They kind of got back over the rise by that time I was able to get back on them. So 1 out of 3 on this stand. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions on coyote hunting at night or hunting with thermals, make sure you drop them in the comments below. I'll answer them for you. Otherwise, we do have a whole series of educational videos coming out that we just shot with Burris Optics and Heath Baker that go through everything you need to know to be effective at removing predators at night. It was a ton of fun, and we have a lot of great information coming through there. Otherwise, you guys know the drill. Click subscribe, click like, and thanks for watching.